I feel like I'm on the verge of having a breakthrough. And that brings with it fear, a little bit of excitement, and also apprehension at a lot of questions about, I don't know what's out there. I don't know whether I'm capable of meeting it skillfully, whether I'm going to make a mess of things. Sometimes we're on these edges that if we take a step beyond that edge, suddenly we're in the unknown. And we may not have a guidance system or a guardrail to hold on to. We would just have to hope, trust, have faith, or just be outrageously confident, fearless, and to be able to conquer that fear or face that fear and recognize that that fear is really the only thing that is holding us back from taking that step forward. Now, when I get to a place like that, like I am right now, my system gets a little bit overexcited because I recognize the great potential that's available and also the untapped power within myself, which feels scary to have to handle that, wield that. And worries come up because I don't know if I can handle that much power in a way that is in alignment with my values, that personally I worry about causing harm. And that's some idea that I have. What if I hurt people? That will hold me back. Maybe partly that could be a good thing sometimes. Restraint, self-restraint. However, if it holds us back too much, then we're keeping ourselves away from actually meeting the flow of life, again, based on fear. We don't know what's going to happen, but we have all kinds of different reasons why we might be afraid to actually find out. So that's where I'm at right now. And in those moments of emergence, sometimes I'll think, oh, well, if only I had a mentor or a coach, someone to just give me a little bit of confidence boost or a guide rail, to hold on to. And yet they do say that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And sometimes we do have to just walk alone. Some of us are on very solitary paths in some ways where we actually really just, the further we go on the path, the more alone it becomes. And although that is true in a general sense, I think everyone is born alone and everyone dies alone. Oftentimes along the way, there's a lot of connection and guidance and meeting and sharing happening, right? But some people have more solitary journeys as well, where we're really finding out for ourselves without anyone else to hold our hand, and that, to take the leap of faith without any hand holding, very scary, because you don't get that reassurance that everything's going to be okay. You just don't know. And then when you're facing that, there is nothing other than the unknown and then whatever you are, which if you're confident, then okay, you meet it with confidence. If you're relying on faith, then you meet it with faith. But if you meet that unknown with fear, oof, that is not fun. So I am trying to find the rhythm and find the flow of how I'm going to step into this space without leaning into the fear. And if that means I need to take a step back at times and wait and just kind of give it a day or two, say, all right, let's just calm down for a few minutes here and we'll revisit it tomorrow, kind of a thing, then that's what I'll do. But it's like no matter how many times you kind of dip your toe in the water, at a certain point, you just have to jump in. There's no way around it. And the funny, weird thing about it is that like those kinds of metaphors very quickly fall flat, because once you dive in, then all of a sudden you're in that same situation again. Suddenly you're fully in the water and you're swimming, but then you all of a sudden now you have to dip your toe in the water again. So the concepts suddenly just fall flat, because it isn't just this one-time experience. Oh, well, I was dry, now I'm wet. I was asleep, now I'm awake. It's not like that. It's like, okay, and then you have to do it again and again and again and again, and it's never the same. And it's sometimes we can see further out and we can see how it is all the same, just the same shape, the same pattern. However, once we dive in and we're in it, we're in a new level and we're in a new scale. We can't necessarily see. I mean, we can, but we don't always, because if we're really in it, we're not looking at the bigger picture. We're just immersed in it. And then we don't know that it's the same as what we just came from and where we're going to. Not to mention, and here's where it gets scary for me, it's not just about repeating patterns. At a certain point, we realize we actually have the power to literally create new reality. That's where it's terrifying, because, hold on, wait a minute. You're telling me that I can actually create new reality? So I'm not just destined to repeat the same things? And in fact, I don't even need to do something that exists already. Like, of all the people and all the things that have been done on planet Earth right now, I can do something completely different and new from that. Hold on a second. That's like, whoa, now we're out there. Now we're in big territory. Because what we've done so far as humanity is like this like one tiny little 1%, not even 1% of what there is. Then there's this whole other 99.9% of stuff that has not been explored yet. So while things can repeat themselves and things can go according to tradition, and we already know what's going to happen based on the past, that's actually a very small part of the story, I think. And we don't want to think about that too much, because that brings its own kind of fears with it of like, wait a minute, I can do anything? Okay, overwhelm, I'll just stay comfortable where I'm at then, because this is working for me. Well, not really working for me, but at least I'm not dead. At least I'm surviving-ish for a time, but not for long. So that is there's fear, there's fear, and that's kind of, anyways, the refrigerator has just turned on, and as we know, if you ever watch this channel, you know that I live with a fridge that's super loud and really hard to talk over, and you can't hear it because I cut it out of the audio on the videos, and that's when we end the videos, is when the fridge turns on. So until next time.